Hello, and welcome to another episode of the LifeHugger. I am Evelyn, and here with me today is my friend Rachel. So Rachel recently, what is it now, like 3 months?
You sound really legit, by the way.
This sounds 3 months ago. And you just illegitimized it by saying that. Okay.
That's what I'm here to do.
So Rachel just moved to Singapore from Hong Kong 3 months ago?
3 months ago, January the 1st of 2019.
As part of her efforts to meet new people and explore new places in Singapore, she has been very active on Tinder.
True. Not true. I just had my share of dates.
In Singapore and in Hong Kong.
Yes, true.
So our topic for today is none other than online dating. What is one of the things that you look for? Or like if somebody has this on their profile, then it's like a definite yes.
I look for a genuine smile. He doesn't have to be extra good looking, but I feel like I have an eye for genuine smiles as opposed to like someone whose vibe is a bit off.
So it's like real smile with like creases
Smiles.
along the eyes. Yeah, it's not
Smiles.
just like a fake
Like
selfie
America's
smile.
top model, yeah. And I'm typically, like, if he's into music and if he's a dancer and if he's into any form of arts.
Because
then
you are very artsy and Rachel
Yeah.
dances. So
I do.
okay, so you're just looking kind of for similarities.
Yeah.
So when I used to be on Tinder, not anymore, but when I used to be, I liked profiles where people actually look like they're out in the world, like doing things. Because there's a lot where it's like selfies.
Gym selfies.
Yeah,
Ugh.
gym selfies. You can't really tell what that person is into other than like himself. Taking pictures out in like nature or whatever, even like
Bungee jumping.
yeah, I guess it doesn't have to be that extreme. Even like them in a park or like in a library. As long as there's some kind of context behind them that would give you a little bit more idea of what this person likes, as opposed to just like a bathroom selfie.
Yeah,
You
true.
know?
You also, like, I don't know, there's also a more creepy vibe coming from someone who only takes pictures of himself indoors in his, like, bedroom. He's just like, oh, is this safe?
Another interesting thing that I've noticed in guys' profiles in Singapore, or maybe this is around the world, I don't know, but one of the first things that they would put is their height. Have you noticed that?
I have.
Is it like that in Hong Kong too?
I think it does bother quite a few of my girlfriends.
That people put their heights or that?
Yeah. Well, the fact that they are not exactly the most accurate information. Yeah. I'm actually open to dating someone who is my height or is slightly shorter than me. Like,
Yeah.
some people have like really hard criterias for height. You can sort of tell based on the pictures how tall they are. Like if they're only posting portraits that's like bust and above, then that might be
you're
a
like,
red flag.
That guy's short. But there's nothing wrong with being short.
True. Depending on your standards again, like are you open to being attracted to someone who's shorter than you at all? Some of my girlfriends are just not. And then so they feel like it's a waste of time when someone lie about their height.
So this takes us to another point, which is, do you think that online dating makes us pickier than we would be in real life? Because I imagine, like, in real life, if you're at a club or a restaurant or whatever, and you see a guy who might be shorter than you, but he's very charming, he has a nice smile, he's got swag, or whatever you look for in a guy, then you might make exceptions. or
Would
not.
you?
I don't know. So, but do you think that technology, like online dating, is making us a lot more pickier with our standards?
That's a interesting question because how do we define and measure pickiness? Like, is it the percentage of the amount of people that you say yes to going on a date with divided by everyone you meet?
I didn't think about it in a mathematical formula, but maybe more just, would you say no to people online that you actually might give a chance to in real life?
Yeah, but then there might also be the other way around. Some dates I walk into it in 5 minutes, I already know there's no chemistry for whatever reason. And I would be like, why did I decide to come on this date? Could I have called him instead.
Right.
And I would already know there's no chemistry in our conversations. But then sometimes it's the other way around, right? I've definitely fallen for guys that I really like their personalities and their characters, how kind they are, honest, and how caring for their friends they are in real life. But if I met them online, it would be like, maybe not.
Interesting. So you don't think it necessarily makes us pickier, but more like it kind of like evens out.
Yeah.
Like some people you'd say yes to offline, others you'd say yes to online.
It kind of goes back to your first question, which is what do you put in front of others? How do you portray yourself? There's always going to be blind spots where you didn't know he's shorter than you. You didn't know that he actually speaks in a voice that you absolutely hate. Okay, these are like more shallow examples, but you know what I mean.
I've had that.
Oh, really?
Specifically that. So this one guy that I went on a date with, his voice was just so much higher than I would expect. It's just a bit like off-putting. It's like, wait, that was you speaking again? Like,
I've had that, and my experience was I already got on a call with him before I met him, but I was on my way. So I couldn't just be like, you don't sound nice. I don't want to go on this date anymore.
So that would be an example of like someone who, if you had met offline, you would automatically know that this just probably like no chemistry.
Yeah. And I feel like one of the tips to everyone online dating out there is maybe initiate a phone call beforehand.
Yeah.
You would have a pretty good picture of whether you have good conversations, whereas text messages could be like it doesn't convey emotions.
I wonder if it's really common for people to be turned off by how somebody sounds, like how their voice is.
I think it's probably the entire presence. I've been told I have a calming presence. I'm not sure if thank you. I'm not sure if I have the same effect on everyone, but it's just like a feeling of
like you
the
can
vibe.
Sense their aura.
Exactly, yeah.
So what's your strategy when you are swiping?
My strategy has changed after...
It has evolved.
Ever since I read this TED Talk by the founders, I believe Coffee Meets Bagel. So they did a research on, a lot of people say how superficial online dating apps can be. And they did this research on the correlation between how hot someone is versus the possibility of them finding a partner.
Okay.
Apparently there's no correlation whatsoever. What actually made a strong correlation was the length of your profile. Like, how much do you put yourself out there and speak about things beyond your pictures?
So the longer the profile, the more chances of getting a date.
Exactly. And then there's also a strong correlation between the length of each sentence you type in your chat, which contradicts your GIF research.
The GIF thing, we were talking about it right before this, is it was a research done by researchers in Tinder. And they said that if you open your conversation with a GIF, that this conversation would last much longer. And wait, what are the actual facts? I wrote it down. Users are 30% more likely to get a response from matches if they open with a GIF. And the conversation would also last twice as long. So maybe you've got to mix in like long sentences and GIFs.
You heard it from here first.
When you succeed and get a date,
comment below
to thank us.
It does make sense though, on second thought. Because what are you benchmarking against in terms of competition? If you're not opening with a GIF, you're probably opening with something like, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Or like, hey, cutie.
But with the long sentences, did they give examples of what kind of sentences? I just can't imagine when you first start a conversation with somebody, what would you say?
Do you resonate with this experience? When you text someone, so for example, I tested 4 to 5 different sentences, and they replied every single sentence on each point I made.
Okay.
I would be like, oh, he's actually listening.
Is that like then the frequency of the reply? Or are they responding in long sentences?
I've also had like people replying in an entire paragraph of how they view certain things.
Is that a bit much?
I don't think so.
Well, that definitely wouldn't be the way you open a conversation.
No, but I also am not a huge fan of chit chats.
So you just like get real
Real
deep right
deep,
away?
yeah.
Okay, example.
Oh, I had put on my profile I'm a dancer, and some people would ask a bit more basic questions like what kind of dance do you do? Some people would mistake my genre of dancing to salsa. I'm like, are you reading my profile right?
Or like pole dancing, or
Pole
like
dancing, not yet.
or like lap dancing. Do you get
Yeah.
questions like that?
Yeah, sometimes people get like a bit inappropriate too, and I unmatch immediately. I've once received something like, "I'm gonna make you shake your booty," and I'm like,
Bye.
Earlier,
So you're saying, how do you get deeper, or like not doing chit chat?
yeah.
What are some examples of that?
For example, what does dancing mean to you?
Oh dang, they get philosophical.
Yeah, or like, how did you get into dancing?
I like that actually.
Yeah. And I think one huge criteria for me on a first date is how comfortable I get sharing about really personal stuff with them. I think when I was younger, there's a bit more tendency to be like, oh, they have these shiny qualities that I am looking for. Therefore, I'm excited. But then as you grow older and more mature, you become super conscious of how you feel. If he is like the Prince Charming, but you don't feel like you can be yourself, then probably that's not gonna last.
Right. And it also shows when they ask questions like that, I think whether or not it's true, it seems like they're actually interested in getting to know you
Yeah.
rather than just the usual, like, how's your day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. What about you?
When I was on Tinder, if I was even like somewhat potentially interested in this person, I would initiate, like, hey, let's just meet up. Because how long can you just chit chat with somebody that you've never met?
Yeah, same.
And, you know, for like a couple of days, you're like, how are you? How was your day?
How was lunch?
Yeah, when actually, like, I don't care because you're a complete stranger to me and
Yeah.
I don't really care about how your day was.
What would be your ideal time frame?
Long enough to get a feel of if you're interested in the person, but don't drag it out too long.
Yeah.
I guess it also depends on how much you talk. Because if you have like a pretty lively conversation, I think you can get a feel of that person in like 2 days, 3 days. Right? But then if you're not talking as much, it might take a week.
Yeah, I think the interest fizzles out as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Do you say hi first?
Yes, to profiles that I'm really interested in. Which usually combines like genuine smile, interested in the art. If there's something in his profile that sparks conversation, then I would relate my first greeting to that. And I kind of expect the same from guys. My profile is super long, and if I
Is
gave
it
you
really?
this much material,
Can we read
to
it
work
out?
with,
Can we read out your profile right now?
Sure. So if I give you this much material to work with, and you still came up with, hey, cutie, I'll be like, dude.
That's pretty lame. That's a cute picture.
Thanks.
Okay. Wait, what do you mean? It's like 6 lines. Is that long?
I'm sure it's longer than average.
That's
no?
true. That's true. When you said like it's really long, I thought it was like a paragraph form. Okay, so you talk about your interests, swing and blues dancer, newbie DJ. I did not even know that about you.
People always, my friends read my profile and be like, I did not know that about you.
So is it true?
It's true, yeah.
Hey, but this is actually really good conversation starters.
Exactly.
Right? You talk about what you studied, history, currently in a
Art
tech
history.
firm. Okay, I like that, and it's like not you don't give away too much.
Yeah.
You give away enough so that people know what to talk
Yeah.
about.
Um,
Yogi, taekwondo, yellow belt. Oh, dang girl. A sapiosexual. What is that?
attracted to intelligence.
Oh.
You would swipe right on me.
Definitely. Do you have a favorite online dating app?
I don't think I have a favorite one, but I did meet my ex on Tinder.
I met my boyfriend on Tinder.
I know. Does that mean you believe that online dating works?
Absolutely.
Works in what sense?
I think it's not too dissimilar to dating in real life. Dating in real life, it might be like friends of friends, or how do you
Meet at a party.
How do you meet people these
Meet
days?
in a club.
Yeah, meet in a party, meet in a club.
Mutual interests like dancing, book club,
That's true.
improv.
Yeah. The thing with online dating that people say is like, oh, it's very shallow. You're only judging people based on like 3 pictures. But I think in real life, let's be real, we are kind of shallow.
You're not
we
any
all-
more profound.
yeah. I think it definitely works. It just increases your reach, lets you see more faces than you would see in real life.
Yeah. I had the similar conversation from a different perspective with my friend in Hong Kong. So she said, if you say online dating is shit, does that mean real life is any better? It's probably equally shit.
That's true.
Yeah.
What do you think are the real downsides of online dating, if any?
My biggest issue with online dating is it doesn't allow the natural getting to know each other through a friends group to happen. I feel like if you met a stranger, in order for that process of genuinely getting to know each other to happen, you need to put in extra efforts.
You have to flirt and like
And
give
make
signs.
time, make time for each other outside of your own schedule.
Yeah.
He cannot fit into your original schedule at this point. And that's kind of important, like, because you get to know real important qualities through these interactions among friends. How kind he is, how caring he is he...
If he has friends at all.
if he has friends at all. Whereas online dating gives privilege to people who are good at making first impressions.
That's true. So it's more like a job interview. Like you kind of have to nail that first interview. Whereas in real life, you kind of slowly build the
Yeah.
impression that you have on somebody.
Yeah. Like, have you had experience where you thought you knew someone and he's like that, but then 2 years into your friendship, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I did not know you are this kind or this empathetic, and your perception of him change, right? Online dating does not allow that to happen at all.
That's true. What is the worst date ever that you've been on?
I guess my most recent worst date was one of the instances where I friend-zoned someone on the first date, and he was talking 80% of the time. I feel like he had a lot of issues on his plate that he needed therapy and consultation on.
It was just
and
like
it
a therapy session.
Yeah, I was his amateur therapist.
And did you like console him? Were you like, it's okay?
I did, yeah.
Well, that's very nice of you.
Yeah, I tried my best. Although I did call him out subtly that he kept giving me unsolicited advice.
So in addition to talking about himself, he was giving you advice?
Yeah.
Yo.
I would describe my situation for 2 sentences long, and he would immediately be like, don't lose hope.
Oh, that's because that's what he needed.
Exactly.
He wanted somebody to
exactly.
say that to him. And how did you tell him about friend zoning?
I said, we would be great at friends.
I like that line and how it's said in like such a cheerful manner. Hey, we would be great as friends. Okay. And then what was he like?
He seemed a bit upset. And he went for a drink by himself at Clark Quay afterwards.
Oh man.
I know, but I tried my best to.
I genuinely hope that he feels
Yeah.
better about life soon.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have stuck around. You're kidding.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel like you were judged by people around you as a Tinder user?
Not so much, actually.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
This is talking about colleagues, friends, family.
In fact, now when people ask me and my boyfriend how we met, so at first we were like jokingly, we were like, oh, we should create a story of, oh, we met at IKEA and we were both looking at plants and then we both touched the same pot at the same time and then our fingers touch, you know?
That sounds like ad for chewing gums.
Or IKEA plants. I actually have quite a few friends who have met their partner that
me
they're
too.
still dating on Tinder. So I think whatever the stigma may have been, we don't have that so much anymore, at least not with our generation, I think. If my parents were to ask, I would definitely say we met.
IKEA?
No. I would say like mutual friends. I think
okay.
IKEA meeting a stranger is still kind of creepy.
Okay. So basically everyone in your generation you would be comfortable sharing you met on Tinder. I took a very similar approach regarding my ex. Like I would sometimes tell people we met on Tinder, and then with other people like who's not my generation would be like, we met at a salsa social, which is actually where our first date happened when I was traveling in Ho Chi Minh. So it's partly true.
That is true. That is where you met, but that's not where the first conversation took place.
I think there is the stigma of whether people who are open to meeting strangers would be more open to fun and casual relationships.
Like sex. like that
S-E-X. Well, I'm from mainland China, and I feel like a lot of my mainland Chinese friends back home would not be exactly like, Rachel, go get them. Hey, you are on Tinder. Yeah, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's more like, ooh, bad girl Ray Ray.
Bad girl Ray Ray. That's gonna be my rapper name.
Yeah, I guess it's also very geography based, because I think in Singapore people are more used to the idea of Tinder, and maybe they think that in the back of their heads, but I have not heard people say that out loud.
So you don't think people associate with it to SCX casual XC?
I don't know, actually.
I saw this article about the importance of short-term love. Everything eternal and long-term was celebrated over media. Like Titanic was celebrated despite it being a vacation fling. It was this great love because someone died.
Right.
And hence the love was eternal.
Yeah.
But then there's so much judgment around people who just engage in a really genuine, real connection through the course of 2 weeks. Right? And the article talked about how important that is in helping you discover yourself. Getting to know someone and experience your connection towards someone that you might not see as your life partner.
Right.
Yeah. Like he eats burger, you are a vegetarian. You might not be compatible in these terms, but getting to know each other on a very deep level actually contributes a lot to your growth.
Yeah. And I guess when you have those differences, it's like conflict and you understanding what are things that are not like you but you can accept, or characteristics that are opposite of you and you cannot accept.
Yeah,
so then
exactly.
you start learning what your boundaries are. So I thought a lot about how for some people, dating is a trial and error to find that ultimate one person that you will spend the rest of your life with. And I know of my friends and friends of friends who have broken up after quite a long relationship, like 6 years. And then when they look at it, or even when other people are describing that breakup, they're like, oh my God, it's such a waste. You know, it's like he wasted 6 years of his life. So it's as though all of that is just a means to an end, and the end is to like find that one ultimate person. But I've always thought about it as like, it's the process too. Like you learn so much, and relationships work and you break up because it was a time in your life where that was meant to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you move on.
Because if you're not in love, what are you doing? Right? If you didn't spend 6 years of your life in love, what would you be doing otherwise?
That's actually a pretty good way of looking at it.
I guess there's this association with this mentality to, I only have 10 years of youth. Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to spend my youth on people who are worth it.
Right. And my eggs are shriveling and need to make babies. Yeah, but I guess if you do look at dating as a means to an end, I think then you might have that stigma of like, ooh, you know, having short-term relationships, that's no good. Whereas if you're in it for the process, you're like, oh, I want to meet new people, learn about them, learn about myself, then it's just living life.
Yeah.
You know, short relationships, long relationships. It's all part of living.
Yeah, just human connections.
Yeah, I'm all about human connection.
Yeah. This kind of also goes back to why people think apps don't work. because their definition of it working is for them to find this one partner that's going to be there for the rest of their lives. Whereas maybe it's just a process where you discover what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah.
You learn something new about yourself, and you go on dates where you feel really comfortable and connected to someone for no reason at all. And you go on dates where you just absolutely feels very uncomfortable, but learn something about yourself.
Yeah. And it's also, I think, just a good way to explore new places.
Yeah. Yeah,
Try
exactly.
out new restaurants.
Cool.
Okay, and with that, we have come to the end. So thank you, Rachel, and
Thank you,
see you
Ev.
all again
That was
in
fun.
the next episode.
Hope you guys had fun.
Bye.